The IVF Made Me campaign involves families who underwent IVF treatment sharing their stories. Earlier this year, clinics in the state temporarily paused IVF treatments after the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos are human beings. A bill providing protection for IVF providers and patients was passed by the state legislature shortly after the ruling. Supporters hope the campaign will show lawmakers how important IVF treatments can be for families.
The goal of this campaign is to capture every IVF family that lives in the state of Alabama. And we want to really show the joy and the love that IVF brings about. And we want to tell the stories of these families and want to make sure that our Alabama legislators see that real Alabama families are impacted by this.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now. Let's talk about this IVF situation, which continues to kind of boil below the surface here in the great state of Alabama. On one side, and you're hearing from this in this news clip we just played, you have people telling people, hey, I was the child of an IVF treatment, and we need to do more to make this accessible here in the great state of Alabama. I don't think it's really an issue. The Alabama legislature went and passed a law that many thought was like a stopgap law, but it's a law that restarted the IVF treatments here in the state. There is, of course, another side of this out there as well that wants to continue this conversation, and they're represented by an article at AL.com, where the headline reads, Alabama pro-life leaders push for IVF bill recognizing embryos as children. Will it happen? Let me help you out right here. No, that's not going to happen. You have two sides of this that are at basically an immovable point. And one side, the side represented by the AL.com article, they want these embryos recognized as children. Therefore, you will not be able to destroy them at all. And if you do, you'll find yourself in a situation where you could be legally in trouble. On the other side, you want no restrictions. And you want this to be able to happen all day, every day with absolutely no restrictions. The reality, though, here is very simple. They've already passed something that allowed this to continue. That's what they're going to do. They are not going to re-engage this particular issue unless they absolutely have to. And right now, they don't have to, so they don't want to. I would liken this to the abortion ban that passed in the state of Alabama. There was a lot of talk when it passed, and I was told directly by lawmakers that after the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, they would come back and they would put exceptions for rape and incest into the law. Now, obviously, they're not actually going to do that, and it's never going to happen again because they don't want to re-engage in this issue. This issue is a little bit different. They want IVF to be possible in the state, but they don't want to keep fighting and litigating this over and over and over again and burning up the political capital to do so. As of right now, IVF is available here in the great state of Alabama and generally everywhere else. There is no attempt to ban IVF. All of that was garbage. All that happened in the state of Alabama is you had a Supreme Court ruling that changed the way these things were seen. And in a civil liability case, there was a massive payout, and people were concerned about what exactly that would mean moving forward. It had nothing to do with this whole pro-life, pro-choice movement. Nobody told these clinics they had to stop doing what they were doing. They chose to do that because they did not like the law as it was, and the law changed. It's not changing again.